Another striker not linked with Arsenal. What's going on with Arsenal's striker situation? Here's Mikel Arteta.
We are trying everything that we can, but I don't want to give any reassurance or not. I don't know. It doesn't depend only on us, so our intention is clear, but the possibilities are affected by three parties.
Right, it is time to get the audience involved. Are you Jordan?
Yeah, Jordan.
Jordan?
Yeah.
We can see who you support, so give us your question.
Is 29-year-old Ollie Watkins a good deal for Arsenal? 60 million for a 29-year-old?
Who wants it?
Well, it's not 60 million. Yeah. Look, this is really interesting because even though Unai Emery is saying all the right things, don't want to sell, and it appears that they're not going to allow Ollie Watkins to leave in the same transfer window as John Duran. There was one source that keeps nagging at me that I mentioned yesterday, that it was actually, the deal was proposed to Arsenal, and it was the valuation that they were given was £60 million, whereas Arsenal value Ollie Watkins more at £40 million. And if you think about what's happened with Arsenal in this transfer window, it seems to be in two parts, if you like. Up until Gabriel Jesus got injured, they were still looking for a striker. They were still looking for a forward. They knew they were a little bit short there. And they were looking at certain players, maybe a short-term deal from abroad, because they can't do a domestic loan because they've already filled those two spots, Neto and Raheem Sterling. Now, when news emerged that Gabriel Jesus had injured his anti-cruciate ligament, which is a minimum of 9 months out before you start playing again, that was in the middle of January. So I think Arsenal then had to change tack a little bit. And what they had to do then was change the focus of their target. So maybe it's not just a short-term deal they're looking at, but a longer-term one as well. Hence why maybe the Watkins potential deal has come up. And maybe if we'd known that Gabriel Jesus was injured, say 2 weeks before, could that have been approached and eliminated earlier? It's just that it happened in the middle of the transfer window, and then Arsenal kind of had to change the way that they were approaching this window.
Jordan, you're an Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
Do you desperately want a striker in the door?
We definitely need a striker, man. I really want Isaac, but
good luck with that.
We're not going to spend the money. I think they valued him at 150 million or something like that. I can't see us spending that money. But yeah.
But you need someone.
Definitely need a striker, man. We're crying. Yeah.
Can they pull anyone out of the hat, Carvey?
I mean, I think Ollie Watkins would have been a fantastic signing for Arsenal. He's a brilliant striker. I think only Haaland has scored more non-penalty goals than him recently. But the issue I've got with their move for Watkins is, if Darmish is right, and I'm sure he is, and their bid was £40 million, Matt Law of the Daily Telegraph today has pointed out that Arsenal sold Eddie Nketiah to Crystal Palace for £30 million.
£30 million.
So if Eddie Nketiah is worth 30 million, you telling me England striker, understudy to Harry Kane, Ollie Watkins, only Erling Haaland scored more goals than him, he's only worth 10 million more than Eddie Nketiah?
Good point.
I think if Arsenal were really, really serious about getting Ollie Watkins, they should have made their move earlier. But of course, as Darmesh mentions, they didn't know that Gabriel Jesus was going to pick up this
as we've said,
serious injury.
They should have been getting a striker. Help me out here, Jordan. They should have got a striker before, shouldn't they?
Yeah, definitely. We've needed a striker from last season. Havertz is not really a number 9 as such.
And, well, he's a midfielder, really, isn't he?
We don't know where he plays. He plays a bit everywhere, but...
Two things I'd say. Arsenal scored 91 goals last season with Kai Havertz in the team. Only Manchester City scored more goals than them. 91 goals, yeah? I don't think many people were saying then, oh my goodness, what's going on?
Havertz did step up a bit, but the whole team contributed goals.
Of course, and so that's why I'm saying Arsenal, when they go into a window and they go into a transfer and they want to bring in a striker, they've got to make sure it's the right fit of striker as well. It's not just, I know we had a bit of an argument about this a couple of weeks ago. He was just saying, John Duran, just get him in. They could, but is he going to fit into how Mikel Arteta wants to play?
That's true.
Not necessarily. So they've got to make sure not only it's the right deal, but it's the right player and the right character for that squad.
True.
Yesterday, or others made them for them. John Duran on his way out. What does that mean for Ollie Watkins? Here's Unai Emery.
When they are some teams as well being interested in the players, of course, is very good for the players. And some players, of course, they prefer to leave. And some players, they accept to stay here, to be here, to commit with us here.